Hi everyone. Today I would like to show you how we can create an asset in the company and how we can calculate the depreciation for that asset on using ERPNext version 15. The first thing we need to do is to create an item and define this item as an asset, as a fixed asset. So the first thing we need to do, as we say, we have to create an item, a new item. So we go to the stock module, and in the stock module, we will find the items, okay, item list. And the items list, we add an item, and let's add the item that we will create as a fixed asset item. So give it a code asset 03, for example, and this asset belongs to all item groups, and the unit of measure of this item is numbers or each, so we keep it as is, and the item name is, let's give it the same name, item as in the code, item asset 3. Okay, that's good. And then here it's very important to say that we mark it as a fixed asset. When we mark it as a fixed asset, we will find that a new field has shown up, and this is the asset category. And we need to assign this asset, this item, to an asset category. Okay, if we have asset categories already defined, so we will assign this item to the asset category, to the list of, to one of the, in the list of the items of the asset categories that we have, or we can create a new asset category and assign this item of this asset item to one of the asset categories that we can create if we don't have it in the list. So let's select this asset category for the time being now, and we say okay, save. Okay, now we have just created an asset item, okay, or item that is marked as fixed asset. This is basic step that we need to start with. Then we go to the assets. Okay. In the assets module, we have many other things to do. Like what? We go to the assets and we go and add asset, create an asset or add a new asset, and give this asset a name, which might be different than the item name. But for simplicity, we will give it the same name as the item. Okay, and we will choose the same code here. As you see, it's asset 03, the one which we have just created. So this, we have the asset name and the item name, which in this case, as an example, it has the same. It is the same. The asset name and the item name are the same. Okay. And the location. The location of the asset is important because we need to know where our assets are. So assume that it is somewhere in Singapore, for example. And here another important, three important fields. The asset owner. Who owns the asset? Is it our company, or the asset, this asset is owned by a supplier, or it is owned by a customer? Because we might rent an asset from a supplier, or we might service an asset for a customer. So it depends. It is important to define the owner of the asset. In this case, let's say that this asset belongs to our company. Okay, and in this case as well, who is to whom this asset is assigned? We can assign it to an employee, okay, if it is tools, for example, maintenance tools that are given to the employees to work with. So we assign it to an employee, okay, or we can assign it to a department. So leave it for Leave it for now because this is not mandatory fields, but it is a feature that you can use, of course, in your company. And then, is it an existing asset or a new asset? If it is existing asset, so we'll mark this. Okay. And let's go back here, and or is it a composite asset? A composite asset means it is an asset that is composed of sub-assets. Okay, assets grouped together to form a new asset or a final asset, and this asset will be depreciated along with all its components. Let's like a PC with a screen, mouse, and keyboard. So we say that the mouse is an asset, keyboard is an asset, and the screen is an asset, and the PC is an asset. So we say that, or the processor is an asset. So all the components of the personal computer are all assets together, and we depreciate all them together. Okay, and this is an existing asset. So we say that this is an existing asset. And since it is an existing asset, okay, the purchase date is not mandatory, but if it is new asset, then we'll have to add the purchase date. Okay, but the purchase amount is very important because it is mandatory. What is the value of the asset that you are going to apply depreciation on? So let's say that the amount of the purchase amount of the asset that will be depreciated is like £30,000, for example. And very important too here, this is the purchase details. And very important here to set the date the asset is available for use. So this asset is available for use since you have to put a date. Accordingly, we will calculate the depreciation. So let's say it is available since the 1st of May. Okay. And we say, okay, please calculate the depreciation. Okay. When we say calculate the depreciation, we will have to fill in this table. This table says the method of depreciation. We have different methods of depreciation, and here the accountants are well aware of the different methods of depreciation. For simplicity, we will select the straight line. We can do the depreciation manually, or written down value, or double declining balance. Well, these are different methods of calculating the depreciation. But for simplicity, let's take it's a straight line depreciation method. And how many months do we need, or do we want this depreciation to be calculated for this asset? So let's say it is over 5 years. So over 5 years means 60 months. Okay. And the frequency of depreciation, we need this depreciation to be calculated every month, or every 3 months, or every 6 months, or every year. If it is every year, so we'll say it's 12 months. This is the frequency of depreciation. If we need to see it every month to be calculated, so we'll say it is every month, every 1 month. And the posting date, today is 26th of May. Let's say, okay, the posting date will be every 26th of the month. Okay, today. On the 26th of each month, this transaction will take place, or this depreciation journal entry will be generated automatically by the system. And then we say, okay, we save this. Yeah. Here it says that the depreciation schedule table has been created. Okay. We go to check it, and if we need to add it, to edit or not, then we submit it. Okay. Okay, let's check before we submit the table that has been generated. Here you go. Well, this is asset 3. Depreciation details. It's a straight line over 60 months. Every month we'll have the depreciation. Very good. And this is the depreciation schedule. So on the 26th of the first depreciation journal entry, journal will be on the 26th of May, as we defined in the table, and over 60 months. Okay, 60 months. So we have 60 months to be fully depreciated. You see, the accumulated depreciation at the end of the period will be, of the depreciation period, will be the 30,000. So the value of this asset at the end of this depreciation period will be 0, right? Okay, we are good with that, so we submit. Yes. Okay, so here we go. We submit. Now we can see that the asset has been created and the table, and we can go to the asset itself, back to the asset itself, and we see something. Okay, and asset 3, and then we can now submit the asset. If we go to the page of the asset now, we will see that there is a depreciation schedule, the table, the depreciation schedule table that we have just made, and there is an asset activity. We will see this now, and these are the details of the assets, right? Let's submit. Here we go. Now we can see that this value of the asset is 30,000, and the depreciation will take place over the 60 months until it is 0. Okay. Okay. Here there are some features that we can discuss later, like we can split the asset or repair the asset, change the value of the asset if it is repaired, for example, or adjusted, so we can adjust the asset value, well, or we can sell the asset, scrap the asset, all these things. Okay, and let's see the activity, the asset activity. Okay, we created, the asset was created, and then the asset transferred to the location of Singapore, and the final one, the asset was submitted. So these are the 3 activities that belong to the asset that we have made on this asset. Now the asset has been created, the depreciation table for the asset has been generated, and the journal entries will take place in the depreciation table by the system automatically, without the intervention of the accountant. The accountant will only have to review and check if the journal entries are generated well in place. That's all, but he doesn't have to do anything else. Thank you very much and have a good day.